What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video here today. We're here for the Grand Prix of USA. That's weird phrasing, isn't it? Anyway, we're here at the Circuit of the Americas for the third last race of ALR Season 5 here on the PS4. Of course, if you guys haven't been keeping up to speed with me on social media, at the end of this season I am quote retiring from ALR. I won't be racing again in Season 6. I'll get into that at a later date, but won't worry about that, as I said, too much right now. But let's get into qualifying and see how we do. Alright, so here we are in the garage for qualifying for the US Grand Prix. Dry qualifying, but as you can see, heavy rain for the whole race. Now that's going to be interesting. So what I've done is I've completely thrown away qualifying. Basically, I've put a full wet setup on the car to try and give ourselves the best chance of winning the race, and just going to try and minimise the damage in qualifying. First run wasn't great, only a 133.1, only P7 at the moment, but we're definitely on for an improvement right now. Across the line, and it's a 31.400 provisional pole position by about 2-3 tenths of a second, I think. Coming on to the end of the session, I wasn't able to improve. I didn't think it was worth using the extra set of tyres. I didn't feel like I could improve. J Banks now goes to pole position on the exact same time that I set. Now, I'm not sure how that works as to why the guy who set it after I did gets to start ahead of me. So, I don't know, I think that's a bit weird. But anyway, it was P2 as we come back into the pits. But unfortunately, once again, we've been outdone by our old mate P. Crichton. He takes pole position for the US Grand Prix by 7 thousandths of a second over teammate J Banks, and then ourselves in P3. 7 thousandths of a second separating the top three drivers. So if qualifying's any indication, this is going to be a close as hell race. And obviously being in wet conditions, anything could happen. But let's get into the race and see how we do. Alright, so here we are on the grid, here at the Circuit of the Americas. Now, interestingly enough, we're on intermediate tyres apparently. Now, I'm a little bit puzzled as to what to do here, because it says it's supposed to be a full wet race, but we're on intermediates. Now, this does seem to be a common trait with the F1 games for quite a while now, is it can say it's a full wet race, but the intermediates are actually the quicker tyres. So this is a bit unusual, but we'll make the best of it. So P3 is away we go for the formation lap. X Revolution right behind us as well. Then I think you've got, there's Darren and Swaggy back there somewhere. There's our teammate Stuart McKenzie back in, I think, P7. So hopefully he might be able to help us out a little bit. Obviously, the main aim is to try and at least jump one of these Mercedes off the start. If Pete gets a good start, it's going to be crucial to get ahead of J Banks in the other Mercedes, but we'll see what we can do. As I said, X Revolution right behind us, no slouch himself, so we might have to watch out for him on the run up to the top of the hill, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, reforming back on the grid, looks like everybody is set, and here we go, awaiting 5 red lights for the third to last race of ALR, and away we go. Held the lodge for a little bit there. Looks like a pretty decent start. We got a good launch compared to J Banks, even better than Pete. Trying to make a move into turn 1. No way around the outside. Unfortunately, we go a little bit deep. Pete maintains the lead. J Banks on our right hand side. We're going to try and get the move done if we can. Up into P2 now, and it looks like we've got that done. So far so good. We've disposed of one Mercedes, got ourselves up into P2, and so far so good. So main aim now is to just try and stay with Pete if we can. Obviously trying to learn and adapt to these wet conditions as quickly as we can as well. And as you can see, he's already bolted up the road a little bit. Now, I honestly hate to bring this up, but it needs to be said, and I know I'm not the only one who thinks it, but when you got racing line on, it certainly makes your job a lot easier. I said something on, I think it might have been Twitter the other day, about, you know, if I'm brutally honest, it feels like you're kicking the guts when I know there's guys like myself who do practice religiously, and then there's someone who just goes, grabs the time trial setup, puts racing line on, and comes and, you know, makes us look second rate. And personally, I don't think that's very fair. But it's allowed, and there's not much I can do about it. So we're just going to have to grit our teeth and bear with it. Getting on to lap 4, consistently setting fastest laps of the race at the moment, Pete, and we're just struggling to stay with him a little bit. Gaps up to 1.8 seconds. Darren has now got up into P3 in the Toro Rosso as well. Actually, never mind, Swaggy has just made a move up into P3, so you can see on the mini-map, Pete Crichton, ourselves, and Swaggy have absolutely gapped the field at the moment. Even Darren has actually fallen off the back of the Alfa Romeo a little bit, which is kind of surprising. I honestly thought Darren probably would have had the pace of his mate Pete, but obviously not. But for us, fairly boring race at the moment, nothing much going on. Just trying to stick with Pete if we can. We're just starting to match him at the moment. We're setting personal best as Darren is retired. Looking on the mini-map, there was yellow flags back there. I'd say he's crashed at the start of the S section, which is quite unusual, but there we go. One potential threat for this race is out, so that certainly makes my job a bit easier. Swaggy sets the fastest lap of the race on lap 8. Coming on to lap 13, we were able to take it back off him, and I can now confidently say that I've started to find my groove a little bit. We've started to catch up to Pete Crichton, and as you can see, for the first time since lap 1, the gap is under a second. Swaggy, 1.5 behind us, so he's no slouch at the moment, and is definitely keeping us honest. Now, one thing I do want to point out is we got some answers from some stewards' inquiries from Japan before this race. Now, the most crucial one that I'm looking at is Swaggy now has 35 penalty points to his name as Pete comes into the pits at the end of lap 13. I think Swaggy's going to follow him in there, and he does. So both of them trying to get the undercut on us. So I'll have to put in a blistering qualifying type lap here and hopefully try and jump them. But as I was saying, Swaggy, 35 penalty points against his name now, and if he gets 5 more, he gets a race ban. So he's got to be a good boy for these last 3 races, otherwise he's not going to be around for one of them. And I'm sure a certain someone wouldn't be too pleased if that happened. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, into the pits we come now at the end of lap 14. It's been a pretty decent in-lap, 1 or 2 little mistakes, but it still felt pretty good. I don't think we're going to overcut Pete, but if I can keep P2 ahead of Swaggy, that would be nice. You can see the Mercedes coming up the front straight now. There he goes off to her right-hand side. There's Swaggy coming up the hill. You can see him on the mini-map. I think we're just going to stay ahead of him, and we are. Pete maintains the lead. We slot back on the track in P2. Swaggy behind us there in P3. So now we've got to get back into a rhythm a little bit. Obviously on brand new tyres, Plev sets the fastest lap of the race. Not too shabby at all from the Renault driver, but unfortunately a bit little too late, unfortunately, for everybody else, as at the moment I think the top 3 are about 15-20 seconds clear of the rest of the field. So one thing I can say is the 3 of us definitely left everybody else behind in this race quite comfortably, and that's certainly making our jobs a little bit easier at the moment. Unfortunately, not being able to threaten Pete Crichton at the moment. Team radio.
They're on old Inters. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:47.7. You're gaining by 0.3 a lap. Good work.
Alright, so just checking to see if he had any penalties. Unfortunately, he does not. And once again, I hate to say it, but it all comes down to the fact that, well, he's got racing line on. So I guess when you want to beat your opposition, that's an easy way to do it. So I don't know, maybe I should turn on for the final 2 races and see how everybody else likes it. But I'm not going to do that. You guys know me. I don't do stuff like that. But anyway, coming on to lap 20. For the first time, we're actually close enough to try and have a look at the Mercedes. He goes defensive there into that left-hander. I don't really know why he did that there, to be honest. We weren't close enough to have a lunge. If it was the final lap, I might have tried something, but yeah, it was still 8 laps to go. I don't really know why he'd be going defensive like that this early. Well, actually, no, that's wrong. I do know why, because as you can see, the Alfa Romeo of Swaggy is now right up our gearbox. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some tactics at play here for Pete trying to back me up into Swaggy, which wouldn't come as a surprise. Cutting on to lap 21, we're trying to make a move for the lead round the outside at the end of the back straight. Nothing happening for us there, unfortunately. Gives us a little bit of a squeeze and nothing we can do. It didn't really come as a surprise, to be honest, but anyway, so now we're in a bit of an awkward spot as Swaggy is trying to make a move on us. So we're in a bit of a, well, we're in a very awkward spot at the moment because we're trying to attack the Mercedes, but at the same time we've got to defend from the Alfa Romeo. Now at this point, I need to talk about the penalty situation. At the moment, I believe Pete Crichton is still all clear. He's got none. I think at the moment we've got 6 seconds and Swaggy's got 9. So at the moment, things would finish as they are. Cutting on to lap 24, still not able to do anything about Pete. That's a 3-second time penalty. That puts us up to about 9 seconds, I think, if my memory's correct, but I'm not quite sure about that. But cutting on to lap 27 now, and this is the closest we've been to our championship rival. Now I know at the moment, unless he racks up like 9-12 seconds worth of penalties on the final lap, he should win the race on track, on penalties rather, but I want to win the race on track to take some bragging rights away. We break late at the end of the back straight. We're going to try to go around the outside again. He runs into us a little bit there. Still trying to hang around the outside. And I think we might get this done. We have the inside for this right-hander. Squeeze him a little bit there to give him a taste of his own medicine. And we move up into the lead of the US Grand Prix with just over a lap to go. So now it's time to get the hammer down. I know it probably won't do us any good anyway with, I think it's either 9 or 12 seconds worth of penalties we have. I do know Swaggy has one extra one than what we do. Pete somehow still has nothing. But again, racing line OP, like, dude, come on. But anyway,
This is your
so on to the final lap. We've already got about half a second, so we should be safe from a dive up to the top of the hill. In saying that though, I know what Pete is like, and he will do some pretty stupid shit if the opportunity arises. Doesn't try anything that time. Probably trying to be a little bit smart now, knowing that the championship is well and truly on the line. One mistake from either one of us right now could absolutely throw it away. That's a warning for exceeding track limits, so I can't afford to get any more of them. Otherwise, Swaggy may very well jump us on the basis of penalties. And at the moment, we are going to finish P2 on track, which is a bit annoying. There was a conversation after the race, and I'm not going to lie, it really does annoy me, knowing that he, well, what's the word I'm looking for here? To me, it doesn't seem like a fair championship fight. Like, he's got racing line on, he's effectively got backup in 2 or 3 different drivers, and I'm out here on my own trying to fight them all off. Trying to do it the hard way as well, which to me is it's the only way to do it. So I don't know, that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. If I come across like that, I do apologise. Not my intention, but as I'm sure some people will understand, when you bust your backside religiously trying to practice to be the best you can be, and then you get beat by somebody who does stuff like that, it feels like a kick in the guts. It really does. But anyway, as we come up to the final 2 corners, we've actually been able to pull away, which is a little bit of a surprise. But as we come around the final corner, we're going to win the US Grand Prix on track, but on penalties I think it's going to go to Pete Crichton, and it is. Damn it. So there we go, guys. That has been today's video. The US Grand Prix here, third to last race for Apex Online Racing, Season 5. Nice to win the race on track. We did score fastest lap there at the end as well, so that slightly minimises the damage. So it's a 5-point lead for us as we head to the final 2 races of this championship. Only ourselves or Pete Crichton can take home this championship. There's over 100 points to the battle for third, so it's going to be one of us two. Which one, I'm not too sure, but time will tell on that front. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, remember to leave a like, subscribe so you can stay tuned for plenty more. Should have a new video out, if not tomorrow, maybe Thursday. I'll see what happens, but yeah, until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.